below. It's a bit hard to find time to make a Nuzlock or any other videos with a script, so I'm going off script today. Hopefully I won't bust your speakers with my unbridled enthusiasm. So we're ranking the protagonists of the Pokémon Adventures series, which is a manga based more on the game, unlike the anime. It's usually called Pokémon Special. I think, was it Pokesupe? Pokémon Special? Something along those lines. It's always a good idea to make one of these tier lists, you know, so people on the internet can roast you on your trash taste. So to start with, we have red, blue, green, and yellow. So let's start with red. Red is probably one of the more well-known protagonists of the series, since he's kind of the face of the franchise, really. He's got the Pikachu, he's got the red cap, and the clothes, which was quite similar to Ash's. Red is kind of a standard shonen type character. He grows quite a fair deal in the series, both in battles and in character. It's a bit tough, actually. You know, a lot of people like him because he's red, and because he's quite badass in the game, but he didn't start off as a badass in the manga. I wouldn't want to put him in S tier right from the get-go, so I'll just put him in B for now. A or B? I'll put him in A for now, and see how the list changes once I rate all of the other characters. And we've got Blue next. Blue starts off being a bit more cold, calm, and collected compared to Red. Red is more intuitive in his battling. Blue is, you know, he's a bit of an asshole, really. But I feel like his amount of assholishness, is that even a word? It's just right, so I want to put him in the same tier as Red, just because he's as likable as Red. A tier. Moving on to Green. You know what? I'm not a big fan of Green, just because, you know, she's a scam artist at first. It's tough. You know, she grew to be more likable, but I really didn't like how Green came off at first. I read the Red, Blue, and Green chapter when I was a fair bit younger. Anytime Green went on, I was just fuming because I really didn't like her. She got better as time went on, but no, D tier for me. Yellow. I quite like Yellow, actually. I quite like her design. I like her powers. I like her ability. And I like how she used it throughout Yellow chapter. She's got quite a likable personality too. Falls a bit short behind Red and Blue. I'll put her in B tier. B tier sounds good. Moving on to Gold. If you haven't watched my Hard Gold RP Nuzlock, do so right now. Link is in the description below. Gold's got quite a likable character, and there's no two ways about it. He's got the whole, you know, that's what I wanted to do in the first place kind of skit going on. Can't really fault him in any way, really. His character design is very, very 90s, you know, with the slick back cap and whatnot. I'll put Gold in A. I might have to rethink the A tier in a bit. But moving on to Silver. You know what? Let's do Crystal first. Crystal is a bit unimpressionable for me, really. I came to like her a bit more later on in the Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald portion of the game. I'll put Crystal in C tier. She's alright. So moving back to Silver. Silver's a bona fide criminal, innit? Silver's probably got the most character development and growth compared to any other protagonists in the series. So you gotta give Silver credit for that. He definitely got a lot more likable as time went on, and during the Fire Green and Leaf Green chapter, I think it was revealed that he's actually Giovanni's son. I think in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, it was also revealed through an event. I think it was the Celebi event in Alex Forest. I can't really remember. But I would have to put Silver in S tier, just purely due to the fact of the grind that this man went on. Oh god, my list got screwed up. Moving right along, Gen 3. Ruby and Sapphire, I definitely shipped them. But Ruby, if it's not clear enough from my videos, I am a Hoenn baby. So I really like Gen 3. So when this chapter came out, I was really excited. Ruby, at first I was disappointed because how can you not like battling? How can you like contests more than battling? But again, character development was pretty good in this chapter for me. It was a very interesting read. I was way more invested in the Gen 3 chapters as opposed to Gen 1 and 2. But I think because Ruby had an aversion to battling, that kind of made me a lot more interested in his backstory compared to the other ones. Red and Gold kind of had their stories just kind of laid before them, so it had less for me to latch on. I really like Ruby, and I like his design too, from the games and in the manga, so I'm gonna put Ruby in S tier. And although I want to put them together, I feel like Ruby had more character growth compared to Sapphire. A lot of people might disagree with me on this, but Ruby's going to S tier for me. Sapphire's going to A tier. Moving on to Emerald. God, Emerald. Such an unlikable character from the get-go. No, he's just kind of this happy-go-lucky character who's great at battling out of nowhere and really just annoying everyone in the battle frontier. And God, what is this hair? What is this Astro Boy kind of looking hair? I hate it. I hate the first part of Emerald's design, purely from the hair and the eyebrows. I don't get what's going on with the eyebrows. Are these even eyebrows? So F tier for me. The first part of Emerald is F tier. His character definitely gets a lot more likable as time went on, and Emerald's true form gets mid B tier for me. I wouldn't say that Emerald is more memorable compared to Green, but God, I just hated how Green started off. Moving on to Wally. I know Wally's not a protagonist in this series, in the Pokémon Adventures series, but since I shit on him a great deal on my Nuzlocke videos, I feel like it's only right that I include Wally in this. I don't actually hate Wally in the game or in the Pokémon Adventures manga. I think he's a great character. He came with a very sickly body, he picks himself up, went to Norman to better himself, and eventually gets a pretty killer team. In the Ruby and Sapphire chapter, he ends up helping Norman in probably one of the most vital parts of the journey, where Norman has to release the Rayquaza. So, because of his background, his whole story, and how he ends up, a high A tier. And then now we have the Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum chapters. Diamond and Pearl, they have the whole comedic duo thing going on, and I actually quite like it. I think it's quite entertaining. I'm not sure if the translation of the jokes really got through from the English translation. Diamond, character growth-wise, I don't recall anything extraordinary going on with Diamond and Pearl's character growth. I only remember they had that one bit where they disagreed, where Diamond was like, "You're not the boss of me, and you can't tell me what to do." That only happened once. I'm gonna put Diamond in A tier and Pearl in B tier. No, I changed my mind. Diamond, high B tier. Platinum, I feel like she grew the most during the journey. I mean, she was likable from the start. I don't think she did anything wrong. I never minded whenever it was time for her to shine. Just because of that, Platinum, or was it Platina? Platina Berlitz? I can't remember. Goes on low A tier for me. Alright, moving to Gen 5. Gen 5, I don't remember most of it. It was a long time ago that I read it. No, Blackhead is Musharna, right? Blackhead is Musharna, which eats his dreams, and that lets him think clearly. Oh yeah, there's also Sharon and Bianca, which were also the protagonists of this chapter, but I'm just gonna rank them purely from their looks and what I can remember, which is not much, really. Black, low B tier. And White, I'm just gonna put her on low C tier. Blake, that's his name, right? Blake? I can't really remember much from this part of the manga, but I'll just rank Blake and... God, what's her name? Blake and Whitley. It's Whitley. I'll rank Blake and Whitley in low C tier. Generation 6. I don't think I've read this manga, so I don't know what's going on with X and Y. I might have read the first few chapters. I remember he's depressed. X, I don't really like his design. I don't like his clothes. It's basically just the jersey. Y, I don't mind. He can go with a bunch where I don't really remember much. And same goes with Sun and Moon. Got Sun. F tier for me. Maybe one more than Emerald. High F tier. Moon, low D tier. Around the same as X. And moving on to the last one, Generation 8. We've got, God, what are the names again? Henry? Was it Henry? Henry Shield? Oh no, Henry Sword. We've got Henry Sword and Casey. I think it was Casey Shield. For me, design-wise, it's alright. D tier. Moving back, out of all these protagonists in the A tier, if I had to bump one to the S tier, or who do I like more than the others in this A tier? I guess I like blue more than red. And that should be it. Hopefully you've enjoyed yourself in this video, and this might not be the calm kind of soothing Nuzlocke that you were waiting for, but I'll get back on that grind, and hopefully I'll have more time next week. Actually no, I'm gonna put green on E. Well, hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day, and before I end this video, Wally can go to hell.